there exist many thriving communities built by refugees who have already found a home there.
The Israeli settlements, known as kibbutzim, that surround the Gaza Strip were built around the time of the creation of the State of Israel in 1948.
The immediate area around Gaza is mostly small villages, kibbutzim. In the early years, at least, kibbutzim and other villages had a defense role. And the idea was wherever you established a kibbutz like this, I mean, that would determine Israel's border. That would hold the border.
Today, the kibbutzim are prosperous farming communities.
חבל הארץ הזה התפתח מאוד מאוד יפה, מספק חלק ניכר מהתוצר החקלאי של מדינת ישראל, לאוכלוסייה מגוונת, מאושרת בסך הכל עד 7 באוקטובר.
The kibbutzim are just a few kilometers away from Gaza, where 2.3 million people live crammed in a thin strip of land, 41 kilometers long. Most are from families that once owned land on the other side of the fence.
70% of the population in Gaza are refugees, and every day they go to the fence, and they would see their lands, their homes and lands beyond this fence. And these lands belong to the Palestinians. It belonged to the Palestinians. They have lived there for millennia.
Hamas is an Arabic acronym for the Islamic resistance movement. It controls Gaza after winning elections that took place throughout Palestine in 2006. Hamas advocates armed resistance to Israel's occupation. Its policies and actions have resulted in its being designated a terrorist organization by many Western countries. Gaza has been under blockade since 2007.
You could never imagine life in Gaza except if you have lived in Gaza and if you have experienced life in Gaza, especially when you are a child. All of the vivid memories I have of my time back then is funerals of martyrs. Bombs, F-16s, tanks invading our homes, tanks invading our city. These are my memories. When you are in Gaza, you would always feel a sense that you are imprisoned. It's really a prison.
In 2018 and 2019, Gazans staged mass demonstrations demanding the right to return to the lands they once owned across the fence.
The Palestinians felt let down, they felt deserted, and they needed to remind the world that they were still there. They were still hoping to return to their homelands. The Israelis responded with force. Their snipers targeted many young men, including journalists and medics. Hundreds of Palestinians were assassinated or were murdered in this way.
I was a journalist back in Gaza, and I was there covering the March of Return. And I have seen the horrors. I saw a kid getting a bullet in his head. He was still carrying his school bag.
Israel says the killings are justified because the demonstrators pose a security threat to the south of the country.
During the Great March of Return, we went peacefully in thousands. But what was the response of the international community? Nothing. Keeping the ears and eyes always closed. Within this context, we have discussed in many times, in many sessions, what can we do? Generally, there was a consensus in the political bureau. We have to move, we have to take action. If we don't do it, Palestine will be forgotten totally and deleted from the international map. We have said it many times. The situation in Gaza is nearly to explode. And if it will happen, We will never allow it to explode inside the cities. We will direct to the eastern borders of Gaza Strip to those who are oppressing and besieging and jailing our people.